Rachel, 10:14. You know, often we talk about the jewels of Connecticut. How about we talk about one of the pearls? Stony Creek Museum in Stony Creek, that's in Branford, Connecticut, down on the shore, hosting a wonderful fundraising event called Oysters and More. And it's going to shed light on oyster farms in Connecticut, which have really been a backbone, a staple of Connecticut lifestyle for years and years and years. That's on Friday. We're going to get to the update on the information in just a moment. I want to say hi to Spencer Bartels, Emily Waters. Emily's with Leeds Island Oysters. Spencer's with Stony Creek Oysters, two of a few farms here in the state. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
And you know what? I got to tell you, I love oysters. And I never think, though, when you think, okay, what's our big products that are coming out of Connecticut? It kind of gets a little forgotten sometimes, right?
They do.
Yeah.
But Connecticut is one of the primary states that's producing oysters. There's a lot of really big companies and a lot of small ones, too, that are producing them.
Their farms have been going on for five years, they said, but they've been going on a lot farther. Now, we're going to go into, and I'm going to just put you to work right now. It's like, let's see if they can talk and shuck at the same time. So go to work. Spence, how did you get into the oyster farm business?
Well, I've been grew up on a farm in upstate New York. I've always loved farming, and the gentlemen that I live around on my street, and they got me into farming out on the water, oystering, and the boats that go along with it. You know, just being an oysterman is not enough. You have to learn how to build a boat,
well,
or rebuild your boat.
That's a good question, because it's not like we're catching
rebuild your
them.
engines. And
is it hard to catch them, Emily? I mean, it's hard to harvest them, I should say?
So when you're doing more of the farm raised, you're working off a line and pulling cages up, so you sort of know what you've got.
Sure.
When you're doing the wild-caught oysters, which is what Leeds Island Oysters produces, that takes a little bit more work. You need to get them off the bottom. So
and I got to tell you, this was an eye-opening lesson for me. I didn't even know there were wild oysters, but you there's a ulterior motive in dealing with the wild oysters, in that we're not just eating them, we're keeping the reefs going strong, right?
Correct. So the wild oysters, they grow naturally in the Long Island Sound, and in addition to them being delicious, they are used for restoration work of the oyster reefs. So they spawn, have their babies, and release those, and that then generates more offspring. So that's one of the unique pieces of the wild-caught ones.
You just think you're eating a little seafood, a little shellfish, and yet there's so much more to it. And that's the focus of this great dinner that's going on Friday night. Talk about that.
It is. So Oysters and More this September 19th from 4 to 8. Stony Creek Museum is hosting Oysters and More, and it's all about oysters and our local waters of Stony Creek and Thimble Islands. On site, we're going to have wild raised oysters. We're going to have farm raised oysters. And then we're also going to have CORE. They're the Collective Oyster Recycling Restoration Program in Connecticut.
This.
And we're going to have on site oyster shell recycling program. So you'll be able to come down, grab a glass of champagne or agua, slurp some oysters, walk through all of the gear that we're going to have.
So meet the farmers and learn the story behind getting the oysters on your plate, right?
The event's actually on the shoreline in the creek overlooking the Thimble Islands. And there's a bulkhead there, and we're going to have all of our boats there.
Love it.
So you better come down and look at the boats.
By the way, if you have not been down to Stony Creek, I will say on live television, it is one of the prettiest spots in Connecticut. Really I almost hesitate to say that because I don't want extra people down there looking at it. But it is so pristine, beautiful down there. What do you hope people, when you go into the lesson, what do people walk away knowing? What's the first thing that they go,
So there's two things, frankly, for me. One is just the history of oystering in this area. It's been going on for a really long time. And so it's important that people know that what we're doing is about maintaining those practices. I also think it's important that people recognize the...
I messed that up. Go ahead.
That people recognize the work that the watermen are doing, and that there's more to it, the boats and all of that as well.
And as I sit here slurping oysters, the best part about it is, you usually think, okay, the shells are useless. This is exactly where CORE comes in.
We want to take those oyster shells and take them back in, keep them out of landfills, and frankly out of people's driveways. We want to get them right back into the water. Because baby oyster spat, they look for oyster shell to land on, and then they grow from the oyster shell.
So how long when they grow? How long till they're ready to go?
Yes.
In the wild, it takes 3 years.
Wow.
Farm raised, it takes 16 to 18 months.
Wow. Interesting. Also, and to say that you do a lot of oyster harvesting, the numbers, and remember, they're just 2 farms out of whatever there are here in the state. How many oysters do you cultivate every year?
Yeah, we're looking both farms, each one of us around 100,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a lot of bucket
And that's a
shop.
small farm.
Yeah, that's
small
right.
farm.
Hey, listen, if you want more information on this great event, if you want to learn, talk to them, talk to some of the captains, see how they do what they do, which is what they do so well. We have the information on our website. Fox61.com. It's Oysters and More. It is Friday night. And again, you've got food, you got music, you got champagne, and of course you got the star, which is the oysters.
We've got a cash bar and we've got a silent auction and a lot of education on oysters. Come eat as many oysters as you want.
So our producer asked me if they were going to teach me how to shuck, and I got to tell you, I'm watching you do it, and there's nothing I could do, and I'm worried that I'm going to just stab my hand on live TV. I don't think that would be good TV. Spencer, Emily, nice to see you.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
And listen, they've got about a couple hundred right here, and I think the crew is salivating because they do love that. Symphony, do you love oysters?
Every now and then.